Newly filed arrest documents say the victim was sitting on her front porch when the suspect chased her into the carport where he attacked her.
22-year-old Jeremiah Taylor was arrested for that attack, allegedly with an overwhelming amount of evidence, including video against him. However, as the WBRZ investigative unit found out, Taylor has gone mostly unpunished despite an alleged disturbing pattern of behavior.
Y'all know what I'm talking about and stuff. I'm talking about that stuff that happened in Baton Rouge with the little dude, Jeremiah Taylor, doing some horrible things to a 94-year-old woman. Jeremiah was my homeboy. One of my best friends. I've known Jeremiah for 6 years. Not only that, I was in a group home with Jeremiah for a year straight.
Fugitive TV, I am your host, Ray Marcel, where we take a look at cases and we take a look at them from a different perspective or a different view, because I was once a fugitive on the run from the law myself. I did it for 15 years. I lived in different countries under different names before I ended up turning myself in. Now I'm talking to you guys with this YouTube channel. I got a few businesses, and then what I do is I help other people find and locate missing people, or locate people who don't want to be located or found, maybe because they did some sort of horrendous crime or something of that nature. So this is what my channel is about, and not only that, but showing you things that the media doesn't show you with some of these either victims or some of the crimes itself, because the media doesn't show everybody everything. So this is what I do, okay? Well, today what we're talking about is 22-year-old Jeremiah Taylor out of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, I believe. When you hear, if you haven't heard of this case, it is very, very stomach-turning, horrendous. I can't even name all the names, all the words, all the everything I want to name for this, okay? This, if you want to call him a man, 22 years old, is, I guess, allegedly accused of taking advantage of a 94-year-old woman. Now, YouTube, you have to be careful with certain words you say. Just like they don't like you to say the M word, you have to say unalive, or your channel can get flagged, things like that. So I'm going to say taken advantage of. You know, you guys get where I'm going. Assaulting, okay? RAPE, you know, so taking advantage of her, right? A 94-year-old woman. What made it worse, in broad daylight, he chased her down. He made this 94-year-old woman run from him. Run. And she suffered broken bones as well. Like I said, it's very horrendous. Now, before he did this to her, he's caught on camera even trying to attack one of the lady's neighbors, or somebody who lives in the same neighborhood. He's caught on camera trying to attack one of her neighbors. Luckily, the neighbor didn't get attacked. She went into her house before it happened, but you see him in the video creeping behind cars. And he's just about to run up and probably snatch her and do something, but she walks into the house just in time.
Just a couple weeks after getting let out on that charge, Taylor is caught on video obtained by the WBRZ investigative unit appearing to stalk this woman.
I was walking from the store on my phone. Okay. And then when I came in the house, I opened the door and my son-in-law said, somebody following me.
We tracked down the woman seen in the video and agreed to conceal her identity when she spoke to us. Watch as a man, who she claims is Taylor, follows behind her, hiding behind a car, then appears to get ready to strike, but then turns around when the woman makes it inside the door.
When I saw it on the news that he had a 94-year-old woman, I was like, that could have been me.
If she was a little late, who knows? What makes it even worse than that, this man had priors. I don't know how he was even out walking. Now, wait till you hear even who these victims are. Now, as far as I know his background, he was in foster care, okay? So this man was in foster care. Now, he's 22 years old now. but he was in foster care. And at the age of 16, he was living with some foster parents. The foster mother woke up in the middle of the night, and guess what she woke up to? Him over her doing activities that you shouldn't be waking up to. Okay? You catch my drift? So, of course, she's very disturbed by it. And here's the part that, even in the news, I don't think they really touched on what he said too much. They asked him, or I should say, the foster family asked him, why did he do that? Why did you do that? Why were you on top of your foster mom doing what you were doing in the middle of the night? He told them he wanted to know how a grown woman felt.
Jeremiah was with me maybe 6 to 8 months. I felt something on me, and when I got up, I seen him running out of my room.
Without getting too graphic, she claims Taylor got into bed with her and fondled himself when he was just 16 years old.
Jeremiah just thought it was okay to do what he did, and once my mom asked him that particular night, why did he do that, he said that he wanted to see how a grown woman feels.
Do I need to repeat that again? He wanted to know how a grown woman felt. He didn't just say woman, he said grown woman. So it made my head go, So is he saying he knows how little girls feel? Is this what he's saying? But he wants to see what a grown woman feels like? Is this why he was possibly put in foster care to begin with? Did something happen in the childhood to where they were like, oh, you got to go? So it makes you wonder. Now, when I looked up the background check on this guy, I looked up the background because I was like, oh, he's got priors. Guess what? You see nothing. No criminal record. The only thing I saw on his background record that I found was funny was his whole family had different names. His mom, his dad, which is not odd, but he was the only one with the last name Taylor, the only one. And I'm like, why is he the only one with the last name Taylor? But everybody else got the same one or two last names except for him. The mom had a different last. It was very odd. I don't know. But not just his foster mom. He also did this to his own sister. His own sister. Okay? Like I said, I don't know how he was even walking free amongst us. This guy literally had no respect for any woman walking the earth. No respect whatsoever. Not even his own sister. Your foster mom, a 94-year-old woman. He got arrested in 2024 for the same thing. Charges were dropped. That is why there is no record on him. The charges were dropped. So I told you, I did the background, see nothing? The charges were dropped. Even the foster mom tried to put, she told law, they reported it. And I don't know exactly what happened after that. They're not saying, but she told the police, she thinks the police really didn't do nothing because he was only 16 at the time. Let's take a look at these articles. I found a couple articles I want to read to you guys.
Suspect is Jeremiah Taylor. That he does have a previous criminal history.
This really up.
Emphatic words from a 22-year-old whom we found out has been arrested for more than once.
All right, so let's take a look at this article right here, okay? It says prosecutors revive the dropped case after man accused of assaulting a 94-year-old. So remember one of the cases I told you that, they're going to revive it. And I'm going to read to you what exactly happened. East Baton Rouge Parish District Attorney Office said Monday it's now pursuing RAPE charges, so, assault charges, it previously dropped against Jeremiah Taylor after locating the victim in the case. So they had charges against him to begin with, and then the charges were dropped. Now, if this doesn't tell you why they were dropped, I will explain why they were dropped, okay? Because I found out why. So it says Taylor was arrested Friday and the RAPE of a 94-year-old woman. Now, this was on March 9th, okay? This was published on March 9th. Prosecutors said the renewed effort comes after charges accusing Taylor of twice doing this to another woman in 2024 were dismissed in January when the victim could not be located for court. This sounds very familiar. I did another case. Okay? I did another case that's kind of similar. Kata Scott out of Philadelphia. The person who's currently in jail right now for unaliving Kata Scott is Keon King. Keon King assaulted a woman and he was charged, but the woman never showed up to court. So guess what? They let him go. And then after they let him go, what happens? Now Kata Scott was unalived and she's not walking with us anymore, unfortunately. Luckily, the 94-year-old woman is still alive, though. District Attorney Hiller Moore described the earlier victim as a member of Taylor's family. Taylor had been formally charged in that case and trial date had been set. Despite my office attempts to contact the victim, we could not do so, not by lack of cooperation of the victim, but that our attempts to locate her were unsuccessful. He said in a statement, without the victim's testimony, we could not proceed to trial. When prosecutors dismissed the charges in January, they did so in a way that allowed the case to be pursued again if the victim was located. I personally have since spoken with the victim and her family. She is more than willing to cooperate and come forward to all future court proceedings. Well, I hope she is now. Okay, hope she is. Taylor was released from jail January 12th, 2026, after charges were dismissed. However, a protective order tied to that case prohibited him from going to the woman's home. Okay? According to an arrest warrant, Taylor went to the home within hours of his release in January and tried to get inside. The woman reported the attempt to police January 13th. Police later obtained a warrant for Taylor's arrest for violating a protective order. The warrant was signed at 9 p.m. March 5th. The same day, police said Taylor took advantage of the 94-year-old woman. So the exact same day he violated the protective order, I should say he got the warrant, he does this to this woman. He was arrested March 6th in that case and also taken into custody on the warrant for violating the protective order. Moore said prosecutors are now pursuing both the recent cases and the 2004 allegations, and calling the latest case deeply disturbing and saying it shocks our entire community. Police did not immediately respond to questioning about why the protective order violation was not acted on sooner. The warrant states Taylor was not at home when officers first responded. Now, this one gives you a little more details of what happened with the poor woman, okay? Not details like that, but you'll see. So it says Baton Rouge police arrested 22-year-old Jeremiah Taylor, okay? And I already told you what he's been arrested for, all right? Now, he was taken into custody after detectives released photos through Crime Stoppers on Friday morning and received tips from the public identifying his location. Investigators say the attack took place Thursday in broad daylight. The community response was crucial to identifying and arresting Taylor. But within just minutes of releasing those photos, the public reached out to us and was able to give us information about the location of the suspect. Baton Rouge Police Chief said our detectives then went and were able to arrest the suspect within a few minutes in the same vicinity. So once they released those pictures, people knew where he was at, and that's where they went and got him. Police say Taylor was booked into the East Baton Rouge Parish Jail on charges of first-degree RAPE, second-degree battery, cruelty to the infirm, and he is being held without bond. Okay. Now, as you see, this says it happened in broad daylight. All right. So this right here says, according to police, the woman was RAPE'd in her home along East Black Oak Drive on Thursday. Jeremiah, 22, was arrested on Friday. On Friday, before he was arrested in connection with what happened with the 94-year-old woman, there was an issued, as we went over this earlier, a warrant was issued for his arrest. Then it goes down to, according to the warrant, the victim had an order of protection against Taylor following his previous arrest for an August 2024 battery and RAPE. Taylor was released from Baton Rouge prison, or it probably was, county. He didn't really get sentenced to prison after the charges for that case were dismissed. The day after his release from jail, the victim reported suspicious activity, along East Black Oak Drive. The warrant says that Taylor tried to break into the victim's home, but left before police arrived. In 2024, he was accused of doing this. The charges got dropped because they supposedly couldn't find the victim. But he gets out of jail and he finds the victim. How come they can't find the victim? Police, we can't find the victim, so we can't get her to come to court. But he found the victim the same day he got out of jail. He went right out of jail, right to the victim's house, right to her. You can say her house. He ain't trying to assault no grown man. So he went right to her house. So how did he know where to find her, but the police didn't? I don't get that part. Because in jail, you don't have phone books anymore. You used to a long time ago. Not anymore. You can't just look up somebody's name in the white pages. And when you get out, I'm going to go to this ad. It don't work that way. So how did he know where she was at? But they can't seem to find where she was at. I don't know. Somebody, one of you guys in YouTube world, let me know that's familiar with this case. How did that happen? Well, anyways, he finds out where she lives at. People see him creeping around the house. He tries to break in the house and he gets caught. Then a protective order goes against it. Then goes out, tries to do this to another lady, gets caught on camera trying to do it, gets away, and then does it to the 94-year-old woman. Now, I ran across an account on Instagram. Now, this was one of Jeremiah's friends. This guy says Jeremiah was his best friend. He says him and Jeremiah grew up in the group homes together. They were great friends. Now, he says that he does not condone at all what Jeremiah does. So, he says he's not condoning what Jeremiah did whatsoever. Matter of fact, I read in a post that the first time Jeremiah was accused of it, he didn't believe Jeremiah did it because, of course, it's your friend, right? You're like, oh, my friend ain't gonna do this. But he said, then it happened again. Then he started questioning him like, hold on, something ain't right. Let's take a look at this video, what the friend says.
What's up, y'all? My name is Neelan. A lot of people call me Chuck and stuff. If y'all don't know what I'm talking about and stuff, I'm talking about that stuff that happened in Baton Rouge with the little dude, Jeremiah Taylor, doing some horrible things to a 94-year-old woman. Some of y'all might not know me. I'm a content creator on YouTube and stuff. I do comedy skits and I do vlogs. I'm not very known, but I don't condone to the things that he did. And I'm gonna tell y'all something that some of y'all might not even know. Jeremiah was my homeboy. One of my best friends. I've known Jeremiah for 6 years. Not only that, I was in a group home with Jeremiah for a year straight. Yeah. Not only that, something else. The night this stuff occurred, I was on FaceTime with Jeremiah. I have a picture of it right here. The things that Jeremiah has done got me in disbelief. I ain't got no words to say to him, but I do have something to say to the victims. I am very sorry that he had done this to y'all and stuff, This dude's a sick, evil monster. And I hate to say that because he's one of my best friends. But the things that he has done and stuff, it's gruesome. It's horrible. I wouldn't wish this on nobody. The things Jeremiah has done, Jeremiah, you got me pissed, bruh. If you was in my face right now, dog, I guarantee you I'll knock you the fuck out, bro. You one sick motherfucker, dog. I can't believe you, bruh. I known you 6 years straight and you want to do this shit, bro? That woman did not deserve that, dog. Then you broke her bones, bro. What the is wrong with you, man? You a evil. And then not only this, y'all seen the news. This ain't his first time, bro. It's not. I known Jeremiah. Jeremiah just got out of jail for the same exact thing. I'm sorry, y'all.
So as you see, yeah, the kid grew up in foster care with him. Okay? That's still no excuse for you to go out in the streets and run off like a wild man and just have no regard, no respect for anybody walking this planet. There's no excuse for that. I'm sorry. You guys let me know. What do you think this kid's punishment should be? Or I should say this man's punishment should be. I can tell you one thing. Now, I don't know if jail's the same like it used to be. I don't know. Because there used to be a code of conduct. And I've talked about this before in my prior videos. The code of conduct was you don't touch children. Okay? You don't try and take advantage or violate women. You don't touch elderly, women or men if they're elderly. Anybody who's handicapped, disabled, off limits. You do not touch those 5 sets or groups of people. Because why? They can't defend themselves against a grown man. If you want to go punch somebody in the face, then you go try and punch another grown man in the face. You don't go punch somebody who's a minor age or an elderly person because they probably gonna hit you back. You probably gonna knock them out. But go try and punch a grown man in the face. If you have the sudden urge and you want to go out there and rob somebody on the street, you want to take your chances, then go try and do it against another grown man. If you really want to do it, then go try and do it against another grown man. Don't go out here and try and do it against 80-year-old Margaret that's not going to put up a fight because you get looked at as a coward. There's no respect for cowards. You get looked at as a coward. That's a cowardly act. All right? Now, nobody should be committing no type of crimes whatsoever. But that was a code of conduct when you were in jail or prison, especially prison. Somebody walked through those doors and they violated that. Oh, I felt sorry for them. It was all hands on deck then. I felt bad for them. But they're going to have fun with him. They are going to. Now, I told you that, and for you guys that, my story, I was on the run, right? So when I turned myself in, and I had to spend 7 months in county jail. 3 months here in the state where I'm at, Florida, because they had to send me back to Colorado, which is where all the trouble happened back in Colorado, okay? So I had to sit here and wait, and then they finally Colorado came and picked me up and brought me back to Colorado, and I was there for like 4 months until the judge let me out on probation because he saw while I was on the run for so long, I didn't commit any crimes. Actually, I opened up businesses. I was hiring people from ex-convicts, people who were getting out of rehab. I was actually a pillar and still am pillar in my community. So the judge saw that. Okay. And it worked in my favor. Plus me turning myself in, all that worked in my favor. And he gave me 2 years probation. That's all done. Everything with now. I actually finished that in a year and some change because I was so good on that. But while I was in there and I was waiting for my court date, waiting for everything to be finalized, they brought this guy into my cell. Now, I really didn't know his charges. The next day, we all had court, and he was going for like his bond hearing. Well, we all in the courtroom together. So during his bond hearing, they start talking about his charges. Now, his charges, this man took advantage of a 7-year-old. And then a witness got on the stand, and says that he should not have bond because he took advantage of her minor child too. And this one was a boy. So I'm looking at this guy like, what? Hold on. They brought this guy into my cell yesterday. He's in the cell with me. And I told you about the 5 rules. I'm like, nah, you can't be around me doing that stuff. So we get back to the cell. We get back to jail after court. And I got 2 choices. I can either get up and try and force him out and say, you have to go. But then I risk putting myself in danger, or I risk something happening to where it looks bad on me and I don't get released because I'm about to go home. I'm about to get out so I can start this channel, talk to you guys. Or I can run down, or not run down, but I can go down to the guards and tell them, hey, he's got to go because this is what his charges are. And he can't be in my cell. I don't feel comfortable with him. I'll be labeled a snitch, but that's my second choice. So what do you guys think I did? I said I'll be a snitch. I went right down there and I told him, I said, hey, he can't be in my cell. He's got to go. He's got charges on kid. Nah, it ain't working over here. He's got to go. An hour later, what happened? They packed his stuff up, kept him in the same pod, but moved him to a different cell. And I guess word got around the pod because you know what happened? He ended up moving to 4 different cells that same day until they transferred him out the whole pod. So he went to one cell, and what happened? The person in that cell went and told the guard too. Every time he went to a cell, somebody went and told the guard. That day, it was cool to be a snitch because once he broke the code of conduct of touching or violating people of that age, oh, there was no rules with him. You can go snitch on him all day you want to get him out of here because nobody wanted to be around him. And nobody wanted to mess up what they had going on, you know, with this dude. So they are going to have fun with this man once he gets sentenced to prison. I already know they're going to have fun with him. If he makes it, I don't know. I guess we'll find out. But you guys let me know. What do you think exactly should happen to him? Life? Death? Should they chop off his stuff? What do you think should happen to him? And I also want to say thank you to the community of Fugitive TV for helping my channel blow up. We're almost at 25K. I can't believe it. When I started taking this channel seriously 9 months ago, I had 700 subscribers. That was it around 9 months ago when I started taking the channel seriously and uploading a video at least every 2 days. All right. And now look, we're almost at 25K. Thank you so much. It shows that I am doing something right with this channel and I'm not going to change it. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing and it's even going to get better. So thank you for commenting. Thank you for supporting. Thank you to the members. I see you guys out there, okay? So thank you to all the members who've signed up for the membership because I do membership videos only. I got one coming to tomorrow, actually. It's usually updated on cases or some stuff I really don't want everybody to see, all right? Thank you so much. Comment below, leave your state, city, country, because I like to reply to everybody and I want to see exactly where everybody's, you know. And I don't care if you don't even agree with me. If you don't agree with me, that's fine. Okay. We're never going to agree. I mean, I should say us as people, as humans, we're never going to agree always on the same thing. But that doesn't mean we can't be friends. Doesn't mean that we can't have the same end goal, right? Well, thank you so much. Fugitive TV, please take care of one another. Like and subscribe. Look out for your surroundings. This story right here is why I tell you guys every day or every time I do one of these videos, the last thing I say is look out for and at your surroundings. All right. Take care of one another. Fugitive TV. I'm out.